So we're out here in the BC woods, and spring is coming. Buds are forming. So today I'm gonna tap some birch trees. Now, most people think when they think of tapping trees, they think of maple, and they think of maple syrup, which is truly Canadian. But actually, birch trees have been tapped across all of northern Europe and even in Canada and Alaska. Now, the sap doesn't contain as much sugar, so maple syrup, or maple sap I should say, contains about 8% sugar, whereas a birch tree or birch sap, like Betula pepperifera or white birch, paper birch, this contains around 1% sugar. If you're lucky and you have some sweet birch or Betula lenta, then you can push it to about 2%. So to make the same sugary material like maple syrup from birch sap, you need around 150 liters, which then gets reduced down to 1 liter. But instead of birch syrup, we're going to be making birch wine and birch beer. So we don't need as much sap, so we don't need to tap so many trees, and we don't need to collect it so much. Birch, or betula in Latin, actually carries something called betulonic acid in it, and they've found through some research that betulonic acid actually it's anti-malarial, it's anti-inflammatory, but it's also anti-cancer. It's a cancer killer. Although there's a lot of research going on with it, and there's a few issues with it, it's actually it's already been proven to kill cancer cells. They're just working out how to formulate it into a drug. But alongside that, it's been used as herbal remedies for stomach, lung disease, jaundice. Jaundice, I mean, it contains a lot of vitamin C and vitamin B, or many of the vitamin Bs, actually in the syrup or in the sap, and it's good for you. Like in Russia and in Finland and things like that, you can buy it bottled and you just drink it straight from the bottle. It only lasts a couple of days fresh, without being frozen or refrigerated. So you have to be pretty quick off the mark when you're making your sap or your beer. Okay, so now we're going to actually tap the tree. Now there's two ways to tap the tree. One is very much bushcraft and is very simple, and pretty much all you need is an axe and a knife. The other way, you need to carry a little bit more equipment, and you just do it with an auger. This is like a hand drill auger. It's about 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, well, I'm going to show you both ways. I'll do one way with this tree, and then we'll move over to another tree. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get it started, and then once it starts to bite, like now, you can see that the bark is actually, the main part of the bit is into the bark. We're gonna tilt it up, and we're gonna go up. And this is so that the sap can really run down and into our container. This is already very slightly damp. There you can see the drips already coming. That sap's running a lot, which is great. I mean, the sap's actually only been running already for a couple of weeks. There's still snow on the ground in most other places. We're just lucky here that there isn't at the moment. But yeah, spring's only just started. You want to start tapping the trees just before, well, a month or so before they turn green. If you've got green leaves and buds all over them, it's too late, you've missed it. So I'm just going to cut my little spile Now spiles are normally the stainless steel ones you'd see coming out of maple trees. We're doing everything simply because this is bushcraft. I've just cut an end off this branch. Just gonna trim all the bark off, and then we're gonna make a nice little point on the end. Now the challenge here, it's always a little bit fiddly, is gravity naturally wants to pull the sap down the tree. Instead of it running down the tree, you've got to get it to run on the underside of your spile, or your self-created spile, which can be tricky. We're going to do a couple of things to this one. We're going to make a point on the end, so that once it does run down here, it has a singular point to drip from. And you can see the point on the end, made it kind of triangular, and this is the point that will drip into a bottle. Put that up in there. Give it a couple of milliseconds, and there. Okay, so now we're going to do the other type of tapping tree. This one is a little bit more brutal, and if you wanted to tap trees continuously year after year, you would not use this method. This is a very simple backwards bushcraft method that you do in the woods, but where either you have plenty of trees, or you're on the move, or you do not have access to a auger bit and a drill, or some means of drilling a hole. So I'm gonna take my axe and I'm gonna chop into the tree at about this height, and then I'm gonna effectively create my spile, but it's not really a spile. It's gonna be my channeling stick, and it's gonna come out here, and hopefully it's gonna reach into my water bottle sitting there. So this is giving me an idea of where I need to put this in. So let's aim for about here. And then I need to make a chop. Okay. Kind of extend that cut down a little bit further into the tree. Just nothing hard, just gently tapping the axe in a bit more. We want to direct all the sap to be coming out of this point here. Now you can see we're almost there. There's some coming up from here. Let's clip some of this off. Oops. That's not good. We didn't want that, because now it's going to come from here. Now you can see we're getting most of the sap coming from here.